بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Tom Facchine. I'm a student at the Islamic University of Medina. This is Masjid bin Baz that I'm sitting in right now. This is one of the main masajid on campus. And I've been asked to talk to you all about Arabic and the process of learning Arabic and some advice that I would have for anybody who's learning Arabic. SubhanAllah, it's hard to believe that a mere 10 years ago I had just accepted Islam and I knew absolutely zero Arabic at all. So fast forward 10 years, I'm in my final year in the Faculty of Islamic Law at the Islamic University. Alhamdulillah, it's been an amazing journey and it's been a unique opportunity. So how did I get here? How was I able to succeed? How was I able to go from not understanding anything to studying full-time in Arabic, living in an Arab land or an Arab-speaking place? There's many things, many of them you already know, but I'm just going to focus on three so you can keep them in your head, inshallah. The first thing is don't count yourself out. A lot of people, most people, maybe they speak one or two languages, but they're languages that they learned when they were children, right? And so they kind of have this mental block when it comes to their own ability and their own potential for learning languages as an adult. And there's no doubt that it's a lot harder to learn a language as an adult than it is as a child. However, it's easier than you think, and with a little bit of persistence and a long-term game plan and a couple pointers here and there, it's something that absolutely anybody can achieve. If someone like me, who had never seen an Arabic letter for the first 20 years of my life, can now be doing what I'm doing now, then you can too. So don't count yourself out. Don't rush yourself. Don't have expectations that it's going to be a quick and easy process. It should be something that's low and slow and that takes a long time. So it should be like a 5 to 10 year plan. Realistically, especially if you're a working professional, if you have a family, things like this. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the importance of vocabulary. People when they're learning Arabic and they learn any other language, but especially with Arabic, I think we really focus on the grammar, and everybody knows how important grammar is, especially because we have fields of study like tafsir of the Quran and things like this, and we know that the meanings are dependent upon the grammar and getting the grammar down. We know that Arabic is a declined language. It's not like English, right? So there's a lot of differences. So a lot of attention gets put towards grammar, and that's great because grammar is really important. But one mistake that I made, and one mistake that I think a lot of people make learning Arabic and learning any language, is to underestimate the importance of building your vocabulary. Being able to read Arabic words without harakat, without the fatha, dhamma, kasra, it's largely a result of knowing vocab, at least as much as it is knowing the grammar, right? So have for yourself a specific program. There's tons of apps these days. It's so easy just to build vocab, just to get words in your head, just to pound in as many words as possible. Go through your phases of life, or your circles of life, or the areas that you move in and out of every day. You're in the kitchen, okay. How do you learn kitchen vocabulary in Arabic? Okay, then you're in the living room, then you're outside, then you're at work, then you're at school, right? All of these particular places have a lot of vocabulary attached to them. So have a structure, be organized, and try to build your vocabulary as early as possible so that you're able to read more words and you're able to speak. The reason why focusing too much on grammar and not enough on vocabulary ends up leading a lot of people to get discouraged and quit learning the language is because you might understand grammar and you might understand the meaning of things in the Quran even because of the grammar, but if you don't have vocab, you can't speak. And so that's an extremely frustrating experience to be in a conversation with somebody, or even to try to write something down and you literally just don't know the word to use to communicate. If it were the opposite scenario, let's say you knew a lot of vocab but you didn't know the grammar, you could communicate. You would make a ton of mistakes, but you could fix those mistakes relatively quickly. Not knowing vocab prevents you from speaking or writing or saying anything at all, and so it's extremely discouraging, especially if you've put a lot of work in to understand Arabic grammar. So that's the second point, is to build your vocabulary and make sure you focus on it, especially in the early stages. And the last thing that I would say is that just don't be afraid to make mistakes. We have a saying, obviously, in the Islamic fields of knowledge, there's two types of people who don't learn: the people who are too arrogant to learn and the people who are too shy to learn. And when it comes to learning a second language as an adult, you're kind of entering a second childhood. You start out just like being able to understand nursery rhymes and only a couple simple words, and so it can be a very humbling process. So that process, if you're going through it as an adult, you can be tempted to remain quiet when you don't know or you're not sure and you're afraid of making mistakes. But with learning a second language as an adult, the mistakes are the path to learning. They're the path to correcting yourself and the path to knowledge. So you actually benefit from throwing yourself forth and making as many mistakes as you can with somebody who can correct you. That's the only way to it. And you're kind of killing two birds with one stone here, because you're taming your ego and you're debasing your lofty opinion of yourself, and you're also being corrected and learning as you go. So those are the three main pieces of advice I would give to anybody learning Arabic. Number one, don't count yourself out. You can do it. Just have realistic expectations. Number two, make sure you focus on vocabulary. Build your vocabulary as much as possible. And number three, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Go out there and intend to make mistakes. That's the only way to get other people to correct you and the only way to get fixed. ذلك والله تعالى أعلم. الحمد لله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.